Hey, beautiful people. This is Stretch Our Dollars. I'm just keeping you guys posted. I went out Monday and I was able to score some 50% off frozen food. We have a few stores that are going to remodel this Sunday. I only went to one store. I didn't want to be greedy and take from everybody else. I started pulling bags of pre-chopped frozen vegetables out of my freezer to make room. I put them on my freeze-dry trays and put them in the freeze dryer. These were bags of yellow onions that were diced up. I cut up a few months ago, and bell peppers that I had. I also took out these boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'm going to fillet those and saute them in some breadcrumbs and olive oil. Do your best to condense your food down in your freezer so that you have more room and space. So, guys, while I have that ground beef draining, I've already washed and cleaned my jars, and I just have them upside down to keep anything dust or gnats or if anything around flying around out of them. I'm going to go ahead and take the ground beef that I have, and it looks pretty good for 50% off at Family Dollar. I'm going to mix it with this spaghetti sauce I got from Lidl. It was 85 cents to $1 a jar. I don't remember. I'll also add my own spices and everything and just doctor it up to, suit our taste. And although I have the same ingredients, freeze dried or dehydrated, why not start with something inexpensive as a base to save your other ingredients? See, the ground beef, all I did was season it with some salt and pepper, because we know if you don't season the ground beef while you're cooking it, you may never get the flavor or the spices that you need into it. That's just my thought on that. Let's quickly talk about this sausage. Even though it's a good brand sausage and it's already seasoned, sometimes I'll just cook it just like regular ground beef, and we'll use it as pizza topping to add to a pepperoni or cheese pizza. Sometimes I'll mix it in my sauce and layer it with my lasagna, or sometimes I'll just add some ground sage to it and make sausage patties. I always brown them in a pan first. I also had to remove bags of chicken leg meat from my freezer. A lot of times I cook them in my express cooker gourmet, and I'll just remove the bones. That way, when I put it in jars, I have more room. We're not eating bones. There's no need to can bones. I'm just going to use chicken broth as the liquid in the jars when I pressure can it this time. This is the organic chicken broth. I was using about 1.5 cartons per jar. All meat, whether it is ground beef, chicken, any type of meat. 90 minutes to pressure can a quart, 75 minutes to pressure can the pints. So guys, I'm just incorporating all my ingredients together. Hope you guys remember this old penny. Still good. The sauce from Lidl. I believe I added 1 can of tomato sauce, just a generic can from Aldi's. Put my spices and my seasonings in it. This is a heavy meat sauce. I'm just going to spoon this right into the mason jars and pressure can it for 90 minutes. And then we'll have shelf-stable meat sauce for years to come. You can use it for spaghetti sauce. You can add some macaroni to it and bake it with some mozzarella on top, or add some ziti to it, make some baked ziti. You can use it as your filling for your lasagna, or you can take some out, add some beans to it, and let this be your chili starter. So I'm going to use this vinegar and the ramekins that I got from the remodel for a penny. Paid a penny each. These were green dot that penny back in, I want to say November. Even these gloves were a penny. They were a bag of, I think, 10 in the black and yellow section. And I'm just going to wipe the rims of my jars and seal them and add them to my pressure canner. That meat doesn't look too bad for, being discounted. I'll use my silicone spatula to debubble and get the air pockets out once I fill my jars up. I like to use this spatula because it doesn't stain and the grease doesn't stick to it. These are some of the jars, the Golden Harvest. I've been collecting these for years when they used to be $6 and $7 a case at Dollar General. I would incorporate them in my 5 off 25 scenarios on Saturday. And sometimes I get them as cheap as $4 and $5 a case. So you can't beat that. Just to let you guys know, this is 12-ounce packs of bacon. So I cooked it with the intent of cooking it 2/3 the way done, but I overcooked it. It's not burnt. We still ate it. And I still canned some. I have some here in the pressure canner. I'll show you guys momentarily how I prepare the bacon to be pressure canned. I'll put them in wide mouth pint jars. And in the far right of the picture is the bacon fat that was rendered from cooking all of the bacon. So now that I have all the bacon cooked, some of it I'll just go ahead and put in a Ziploc freezer bag, and we can pull it out of the freezer as needed, throughout the next couple weeks. Some I'll just go ahead and put it in the refrigerator, and we'll have it within the next couple days. We really can't leave a lot of bacon out like this because we snack on it, and we'll look up in a few weeks and it'll all be gone. So I definitely have to pressure can some now. So I'm going to just let these jars sit here and rest. This one did not seal because evidently it was too much sauce in the jar, so it kept it from sealing. So I'll put this in the bag and we'll use this in the next couple days when the grandbabies come over. Then I'll just go ahead and use my penny dish rags and dishcloths, and I'll just go ahead and scrub up the outside of the other jars so that we don't attract any dust or ants or anything like that while they're sitting on the shelves. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I prepare the bacon to go in the mason jars for pressure canning. So I just have some cheap Dollar Tree parchment paper, and make sure you use parchment paper and not wax paper. Parchment paper is non-stick. It holds the grease back, and it doesn't have wax on it to melt while it's pressure canning. I'll just fold it up. Some are long pieces, some are short pieces that I cut in half. It really doesn't matter how you do it. It's your preference. And I'm just rolling it up into a wad. I washed and I've cleaned these jars. I didn't sanitize them because nothing is touching the jar. I just went ahead and put my lid on it. I already wiped my rims, so being that they are inside the parchment paper, I didn't even touch the rim, so I'm not worrying about any grease getting on the rim. I'll just take this and sit it inside the pressure canner. I like to use my 22 quart Presto canner because I can double stack. Now I'm just using a strainer. I have a funnel in the jars. These are pint-sized regular mouth jars. I'm just straining that bacon fat. And the reason I'm pouring it through a strainer, in case there's any little bits on the bottom that may have been scorched. Now, we all know that you can buy bacon fat in the grocery store, in Walmart, for $7. But why waste this good bacon fat? So I have a layer here. I'm going to put another rack on top and stack another layer. You can get 18 pints inside of a Presto 22 quart pressure canner. That's why I like it so much. And just to let you guys know, Presto 22 quart holds 18 pints. I went ahead and used the leftover vinegar from the ramekin and clearing the lids of the jars and just added it to the water in the canner to keep my canner from getting tarnished as it goes through the process. While I wait for my canner to get up the pressure, I grabbed these at Walmart on clearance for 75 cents. And I'm just going to go ahead and toss them into a pot. Add some spices that we like. Toss in a little bit of chopped onions I have in my kitchen freezer. And then I'll go ahead and utilize the leftover, not all of it because they'll be too greasy, but the leftover bacon fat just to add that other layer of flavor that we enjoy. And I'll just go ahead and bring it to a boil, let this cool down, turn around and portion it out into side dish containers, because sometimes one person may want green beans, one person may want turnip greens, somebody may just want chicken wings. You know how it is. This way everybody can have what they want. This is the bacon fat and the sausage after it's finished coming out of the canner. This is the chicken and the chicken broth back here. And these are the jars of home canned bacon. So everything's fully cooked in the jars. You can see the breakfast sausage patties are still bubbling and boiling. So I'm just going to stick these quart jars in a box, just the regular box that the jars came in. I got these partitions out of some type of Christmas decoration tote that I didn't utilize for the ornaments. I wanted the tote, but I didn't throw these away. I knew I could make some type of use of them, and they're coming up and working like a charm. So here's the meat sauce that's all boxed up, and here's the bacon and the breakfast sausage boxed up and labeled. Now we'll rotate this out. This will go in the back of the shelf or on the stands that we have our food storage on, and we'll eat what was prepared, a few years ago. That way we're rotating through our food storage. This is the bacon fat. A lot of it has solidified. I may stick it in the refrigerator to let it get hard. The jar that's not fully full, I'll probably leave this out and just use. Well, I won't leave it on the shelf. I mean, I could put it in the cabinet, but I'll probably open it and use it within the next week or so. Guys, I thank you so much for allowing me to share with you how I utilize some of the pennies that I get from remodels and regular penny days. And please hit the like button and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by and welcome. You guys stay safe. Be blessed.